cheating. Now, cheating I generally define as like the intentional breaking of rules, but there is obviously a lot more nuance to it. So, for example, intentionally breaking rules would mean like house rules are cheating, metagaming is cheating, like third-party programs and other like games could be cheating. All these things could be cheating, or they could also not be cheating. Kind of like lying could be bad, or it could be not so bad, depending on like the application of it. I like New Empire, but I don't like the midriff. I like the hair though. I'm sticking with the royal. So, there are many things that will affect the application of something that will determine whether it's good or bad. These are values that I have that I think most people also have, even though they're not super aware. And other people, because they're not aware, misapply those values not consistently, but very often. So things like it being consensual, it being informed, not necessarily enthusiastic. There needs to be a distinct lack of like coercion or other consent subverters. So, for example, bluffing in a game of poker is okay, even if your bluff could be formed to be like a literal technical lie. Alright, so house rules. It can be cheating. When you view a house rule as cheating, it's generally like, oh, these are like the rules as written, so these are the literal rules of the game. And even if we all agree to break them, we're still like breaking the rules. We're deciding we're playing a similar game to, say, Dungeons and Dragons or whatever game or Monopoly, because we have a house rule about how we're going to do it differently. You can say you're playing a different game, but when it comes to the actual game that you're saying you're playing, you're not actually playing that game, or you are playing it and you're just cheating. But it's okay, it's not like a bad cheating, there's nothing wrong with it, you know, it's fine. Oh shit, they're getting fucking hurt. Yeah, there's nothing immoral about it, there's nothing wrong with it. It can be fine to quote-unquote cheat under that definition, that cheating is intentionally breaking rules. I specify game terms, because cheating in terms of like relationships, you would probably need another definition, or most people would probably describe it as a different definition, although it would be the same definition. Cheating is intentionally breaking rules of relationship. Most rules aren't explicit though, and because they're not explicit, people seem to have different views about what the quote-unquote rules are, or like what people should or should not do, or how considerate they should or should not be to their partners' like insecurities and things like that. In general, we don't try to hurt people's insecurities, but someone having an insecurity might not be like a known thing, or it might be known to some degree, but you might not know like the severity of it, or it might be known and you might know the severity, and you might say, well, it's not okay to put that on me. You know, if someone has some trauma and you know, they have a little trauma, but the trauma is about, I don't know if that works. No, it worked. Oh, fuck. And someone has some trauma, but it's about like leaving a dish in the sink, like a single solitary dish. If anything's left in the sink, they get really upset. Oh, yeah. Maybe some traumas, they're all valid to have, but expecting people to go insanely far out of the way to change their behavior for trauma might always not be super reasonable. There might be things that need to be done about it outside of that. And you know, oops.
Surrender to my.
So, there was a topic house rules, and there's a topic like, metagaming, and we can use Dungeons and Dragons for metagaming too. Metagame would be like talking about things that you as a player know that your character doesn't necessarily know. Really know. I almost jumped off the edge, that would have been fucking hilarious. So metagaming, in that sense, is generally regarded as bad or wrong. It's not good. People generally look down on people that do it. However, if you metagame, even in that sense, and it is like a consensual thing where people are like, hey, none of us have any reason to know this. This is like a really important thing that our characters need to know to move the story forward or something. Or like, I just don't want to deal with like X thing. That's not like a role-playing scenario I want to be a part of. Like that doesn't sound fun to me. Or, you know, I fucked that up. Or any number of things. People would say where metagame would be pretty okay in that scenario. Like, people can agree, they can consent, they can all be informed about, you know, what it is that's happening, why people are doing it, and if that's what people want, that's what people enjoy, that's absolutely okay. It'd be really weird to say, no, that's fuck. It'd be really weird to say, no, that's fuck. It'd be really weird to say, no, that's fucked up, or whatever the fuck. There are many situations in which metagaming is absolutely okay. And then there are many situations in which people would genuinely agree it's not okay. So, for example, if you have someone and they just know every monster's weakness, even though they're playing a character that's never been outside, has never read a book, has no reason to know any monster's weakness, and they're not, like, talking, and they're not communicating about, like, why their characters would know things, and they're not thinking of any excuses, and they're not, like, asking for, like, role-playing assistance in finding out, like, the reasons why it might happen, because some people aren't the most creative, and there's no reason to, like, punish them for that. Like, if you can't think of a reason, or you can't think of a thing for your character to say that would make sense, that doesn't necessarily mean, like, you're shit out of luck, you know? It might with some groups, but yeah. Some of the qualifiers which people don't always seem to be aware of tend to be things that are really, really well known when it comes to, like, kink. So, for example, consent, people having informed consent. One thing I should have said earlier is that it doesn't necessarily have to be bigger being. Oh. That's cool. Swapping healing that. I just woke him up, my bad. I fucked that up. Ah. Sorry, Anna. I woke him up with my thing on, my bad. Anyways, so when I say it doesn't necessarily have to be enthusiastic, but there does have to be a lack of coercion or other, like, consent subverters, is because enthusiastic consent, but different people express themselves differently, and not everyone's going to be, like, very enthusiastic.
The final round, and a memorable one, I hope.
I got you one healer and no one else. Everyone else already died. Oh shit. Oh, I'm stuck on the desk! Fuck me. With Moira, you just kind of want to, like, give everyone a little spritz to keep that buff on them so they keep healing. I think it works even if they're full health, and then if they get damaged, it'll still heal them, but not 100% on that. I'm not concerned about being good at this game at all. Not practice or anything. I'm trying to look things up. Oh, as interesting as some things are. Fucking wild. Oh, they got fucked. They got unbooked. Let's go. They're fucked again. Bye, not here. Go away. I don't think they're buying it. Ow. So another topic of cheating would be, like, third-party programs in video games. Now, some of these are seen as, you know, pretty gray, and some of them are seen as fucking terrible. And others are cheating, but very socially accepted. So again, going over the definition of cheating, it might be like, oh, intentionally breaking a rule, you know? That's a super basic definition, and we're gonna add nuance onto that definition. Oh, fuck me. Sorry, that was very distracting. Anyways, adding nuance on the definition. So, in games like Rivals, Overwatch, League of Legends, you might have, like, character or champion trackers. And then you can ban people out, and it'll reduce their chances of winning because you have a third-party program to keep information. Now, often, this is public information, so some people think it's pretty okay. Like, it's publicly accessible. Technically, everyone could do it. They're just using something that helps them do it faster or better. Although it's not actually reasonably technically possible for people to do it. So, for example, If I go onto Google and I just Google, hey, what is Banshee Fires like, blah, 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 blah. Unless there is a third-party website, it is not generally going to be accessible information. Like, no one is an internet scraper. They have to be used for things like this. I don't know where the fuck they went. So, using something like that is by most people seen as cheating. But for some people, it's not cheating. It can be like a sort of gray area. I think it's just straight up cheating. It is cheating. And I also think it's generally a bad thing or a not good thing. A lot of games let you know, private your profile and things like that to try and combat it. So generally, if you're doing something competitively, you probably should. If you care about winning or your rank, blah, blah, blah. It's a good thing to do. I fucking love that flower thing. It's so cute. It's so good. Okay, there's also other third-party things which are generally accepted. So, for example, the use of Discord. And you might be thinking like, oh, well, what advantage does Discord give you? Like, how's that cheating and da-da-da and things like that. Because, like, other games like League of Legends or whatever the fuck, they have, like, built-in voice chat features, as it turns out. No one really uses League of Legends, but like League of Legends and other games do have like built-in essentially Discord functions for communication. So it doesn't really give you a benefit to every game. But to some games, for example, Dead by Daylight, it is a huge difference being a Swift over Discord versus being a solo versus just playing with the same people again and again in a party. And it is a game about hidden information. Getting information from just talking to people about, you know, where the killer is or what perks, who is running and things like that, and being able to coordinate in those fashions in like a real-time basis is a dramatic, like a fucking huge difference. Now, it's cheating. It's a third-party program. It gives you an unfair advantage, and like all this shit. But I will say it is socially accepted. Like, it is generally understood to be a thing that will happen. It is generally of the culture consensual and informed. Not necessarily every single person going to every match is going to know whether or not people are on Discord or not. Not everyone that goes into the game is going to know whether or not Discord is a thing. There might be some people that have never heard of it. There might be people that don't play games much, where it's like one of their first experiences, or they don't realize that people can like join Discords with each other, things like that. Anyways, it's socially accepted, so it's generally viewed as okay. It is cheating. In addition to that, they're all streamers in Dead by Daylight, and it is generally regarded for stream snipers to be cheating. Weird, because that deflects all responsibility away from the streamer. It's giving access of information that would not otherwise be there using third-party programs to up to everyone else in the lobby. Not necessarily anyone, but up to everyone. Anyways, so to go over it all again really quick. Cheating, intentionally breaking rules. There are many ways people cheat: house rules, metagaming, third-party programs. People cheat by letting kids win. People cheat in a variety of ways, not all of which are bad or unethical. Some are very ethical, and some are just kind of very gray. Different people have different views on this thing. In general, when you look at whether or not something is bad, you're probably going to be looking at like whether or not it is like a consensual thing or people are informed. Sometimes you'll be looking at whether people are enthusiastic, but not always, because different people express things differently in terms of enthusiasm. So enthusiastic for one person might be like jumping around and going, yeah, and like fist pumping and whatever the fuck. And for someone else, it might be going, oh yeah, cool. That could be a very enthusiastic for some person. Like, you can call it a spectrum if you want.